Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Kim and welcome back to Uncommonkim. So, today I am doing 24 books I want to read before my 24th birthday. So my birthday was actually back at the beginning of March the 4th. So at the time I didn't do this channel. However, I saw Meg from is it Meg with Books? Meg. Do this video. We are both the same age, funnily enough. And I just thought, well, that's a good idea because it sets a theme. So yeah, I have a whole list here of books I want to read. 24 books I want to read before I'm 24, and I have all the books that I own around me. If I don't own them, I'll just show like a photo of them. But yeah, I'm really excited. Let's get into the books. Okay, so book one is Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. So I love John Gwynne. He is probably one of my favourite fantasy authors. I've read the entirety of The Faithful and the Fallen. I have read the... oh, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's the series that comes after The Faithful and the Fallen. It's literally like a 3-book series. Read all of those, really enjoyed them. And then John came out with this. And I have tried to read this book 3 times, but because I'm so heavily set on how much I love The Faithful and the Fallen, I haven't been able to get into it. But I really want to because I've heard so many people enjoy it, and I was just like, oh, John. I love John. I really want to get into it. So this is... I'm gonna probably do a vlog just around me reading this book because I bloody need to read it. So that's book one. As you can see, there's a bookmark in there. Where do I chuck it? It's right over there. We're good. So book number 2 is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I've heard so many great things about this series and I'm really excited to finally read it. I really wanted to read it last year, but I just ran out of time. But the stone that enhances a warrior's natural strength and speed. It is mined, traded, stolen and killed for, all controlled by 2 families equal to their power and ruthlessness. When a modern drug emerges that allows anyone, even foreigners, to wield Jade, simmering tension between the 2 clans erupts into war. There we go. Maybe it's just easier if I read out the blurbs. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to this year. Hence why it's on this list. I'm planning on doing a review this time next year to see which ones of these I actually read. Hopefully all of them, but I can't see it myself. The next one I'm really excited for, which is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I think I pronounced that right. I do apologise if I did butcher it. I am so excited for this. So I've been told Aladdin vibes, and if you don't know, Aladdin vibes is... oh, I just love it. So I read The Stardust Thief last year. Absolutely top notch. I've learned that kind of... I don't really know what you would call it. Kind of like Arabic, Middle Eastern vibes is my thing. I never thought it would be. So I'm really excited to read this. Really excited. So just briefly reading a part of the blurb. In the markets of the 18th century, thieves, tricksters, con artists and outcasts out of a living swindle rich nobles and foreign invaders alike. But along this new world the old stories linger. Tales of Djinn, I want to say? Djinn? And spirits of cities hidden among the swirling sands of the desert, full of enchantment, desire and riches, where magic pours down every street, hanging in the air like dust. I'm so excited to read this. And I think having so excited to read this is why I keep putting it off. Again, this is another book I really wanted to read last year and I just didn't. So I'm hoping this is going to force me to. So yeah, City of Brass. The next book is the Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So I read The Final Empire last year, absolutely loved it, 5 stars, and I really want to read this. Like, I really want to read this, but it's so big and it just keeps putting me off. But if you don't know, this is the second book in the Mistborn Era 1 series. We follow a character called Vin, who basically finds out she's Mistborn and gets trained up to be a Mistborn, and makes all the characters in this is just phenomenal. I love it so much. I suppose I could read some of this. Then the street urchin who has grown into the most powerful Mistborn in the land. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to ruin it, but oh, this series. So I really want to get through probably Mistborn Era 1 as a whole this next year, so the Well of Ascension and then the Hero of Ages. I'd love to read both, but Hero of Ages I'm pretty sure is bigger than this. Big books scare me. I love a big book, but they scare me at the same time, so hopefully I'll get around to this. We can hope. The next book is Obsidio by Amy Kristoff and Amy Kaufman and Jade Kristoff. Losing the plot. I read Illuminae about 3 years ago and then I read Gemini last year, I want to say, and I loved it. I loved it. I cried towards the end of Gemini as well, an emotional soul. I absolutely love it. So why am I putting off reading this last book? No idea. But I'm planning on trying to read this for one of the final book support groups this year, just so I can finish this bloody series. I love it, but I just need to finish it at this point. Like, it's getting a bit ridiculous. So yeah, hopefully I will readily read this year. It's just getting a bit stupid. Okay. The next book is The Power of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I've heard such good things. Such good things. It matches my jumper. Oh, I might have to take a photo of that. I've had so much great things. I really want to read it. But again, it's just the sheer size of it that puts me off. I started trying to read it, I don't know if it was last month or February, and I got maybe 100 pages in, and then I just felt too overwhelmed, so then I didn't carry on. But I really do want to read this so badly. So it says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. I just know I'm gonna love it. I just gotta push myself to actually bloody read the book. So yeah, that is number 6. So it is Blood and Honey and Gods and Monsters, which is the next 2 books in the, I don't know what you're called. I'm gonna call it the Serpent and Dove series because I don't know what it's called. I read Serpent and Dove this month and I loved it, really enjoyed it. So I really want to carry on with this series at some point in this next year, just to have another series that I've completed. Really, that's kind of it. Look, we follow 2 characters. One is I don't really know what to call him. I'm just gonna call him a religious man who, as a job, hunts down witches, and our other main character is a witch, and they end up having to get married, and then they go down this whole story and this path of being married but also having a witch, but he doesn't know she's a witch. It's really like complicated, but I promise you it's a really good book. 100% recommend checking it out. Okay, so the next book is, if I can find it, Vengeful by V. Schwab. So I read Vicious beginning of this year and I really enjoyed it, but obviously it is a duology, so if I can read this it'll be great because it will just finish off. It is very much superhero based, so if you're into like your superheroes, it is a great one for that, but it's kind of goodies versus baddies, but it's just so much better than that. It's hard to explain it really. really need to get to this year. So that's my next one. So the next book is The Righteous by David Wagg. I read the first book in this series, which is The Black Hawks, back for Bookopoly 48-hour readathon last year. I really enjoyed it. It was really funny, sarcastic, funny. How many more times do I want to say funny? It's really good. This, as you can see, the art on the cover, these are our characters. It's basically like a clan, like a rebellion. So our main character is called Chell. He was basically drawn to a deadly rebellion. With him stood the mercenaries of the Black Hawk Company, who were only ever in it for the money. And it's just so funny. It's a really good book. I 100% recommend if you haven't tried it out. And quite like, if you like Rune of Kings, you'll love this series. But yeah, I'm really hoping I can get to this. But again, it's a chunky boy. They seem to all be chunky boys. So that's that one. I want to get to is Hellbent by Leo Bardugo. I read Ninth House. It was the first book I read for this year and I loved it. So I really want to get around to Hellbent really soon. This is a lovely edition of Hellbent, if I may say so myself. If you don't know what Ninth House is, I don't really know how to explain it to you. Oh. From what it's saying on the back, because I don't know how to explain books. I'm not very good at it. Oh god, I really want to get to this soon. I'm really excited to just see where it's gonna go, basically. The next book I want to read is Glint by Raven Kennedy. I read Guild this month, and I did enjoy it, but I also found it a little bit boring. But I still want to continue with the series. I've heard the series gets better as it goes on, so I'm really hoping to read this coming year. I've got the really nice Waterstones editions, which again matches my jumper. But yeah, hoping to get to this very soon. The next book is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited to read this. It is in fact on my TBR for May, so I am going to be getting to this quite soon. But if you didn't know, in a peaceful retirement village, 4 unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders. Which just sounds right up my street. So I'm really excited to get to this. The next book is Philly Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. So I read... What's the first one called? Can't remember. I read the first Philly Donovan is Killing It last year, and I really enjoyed it. I have a soft spot for little cozy mysteries like this, and I did really enjoy it, so I'm really excited to continue. I may even reread Philly Donovan's Killing It before this, because I can't really remember what happened, but we'll see. But yes, so this is next. If you didn't know about this, it is about a woman called Finley who writes crime. She's a crime writer, and an accidental hit one when somebody thinks she is actually writing about the fact that she's a hit woman, when in fact she's writing about crime, but they pay her an awful lot of money, so she does it anyway. So yeah, really excited to read this. This book is Fated by Terry. I read Slated, Fractured, Shattered. Amy, you'll be proud of me. In December last year, one after the other, because I really love this series. It's really good, twisty-turvy the whole way through. So this is Fated, so this is based years before Slated. Won't tell you who it's about, I won't tell you anything, because it is a spoiler for the other 3 books. So definitely recommend this series, it is so good. So good. Face by R.F. Kuang. This is R.F. Kuang's new release, which is coming out 25th of May. I am really into R.F. Kuang at the moment, so I've read Babel, and I am currently making my way through the Poppy Wall series, which is really good. So I'm really excited to get to Yellowface as well. Heard a lot of good things. The next is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. the next book in the Ballad of Never After series, no, Broken Heart series, which I read both of them this year and I really enjoyed them, so I'm really excited to get to this one, especially after the ending of that last book. The next book is also a book coming out this year, which is Bone Shops and Bone Dust, which is a cozy fantasy, very similar to Legends and Lattes. Very excited because I love Legends and Lattes. I gave it 5 stars. My camera's got no battery, so let's be quick. The next book is The Drift by Cj Tudor. I really love Cj Tudor and her writing. I have loved every book this woman has written, and I'm hoping it's going to be the same for this one, because I don't think there's a single thriller she can write that I won't love. But just a quick overview. So an overturned coach full of students, all of them are trapped. A stranded cable car full of strangers, one of them is dead. An isolated chalet full of friends, soon they'll be enemies. Cannot wait to read this. I love Cj Tudor, she's my fave. The next we have How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. Again, Grady Hendrix has not written a book yet that I do not love. I am really excited to get to this, but I have heard mixed things, but I am hoping that I'm still going to love it all the same. I believe this is about a woman whose a family member passes away and she inherits the house, but the house is haunted, but she basically just tries to sell it, so it's how to sell a haunted house. Simples. The next one is another Grady Hendrix, which is My Best Friend's Exorcism. Everyone loves My Best Friend's Exorcism. Everybody rants and talks about it. I'm like the only person that says I love Grady Hendrix and hasn't read My Best Friend's Exorcism. So I'm really excited to read this soon, because then I am caught up with Grady Hendrix. We can hope. Oh god, that's Lisa. The next one is Two for Joy, which is a part of the Magpie Society series by Zoe Sugg and Amy McLaughlin. I think I pronounced that right. Which is a YA mystery, and if you did not know, I am a sucker for a YA mystery, so I'm very, very excited to get around to this. This has been out for quite a while though. When did this come out? 2021. And I say I'm a fan. I may need to do a reread of the first book, to be fair, because I actually could not tell you what happens in this. It's a YA mystery. A sudden disappearance, a race against time, a shocking revelation. I'm excited to read this. I'm trying to be quick, I do apologise. My battery's dying. The second to last book is True Crime Story by Joseph Knox. This is about a girl called Zoe Nola, a 19-year-old who basically walked out of a party and was never ever seen again. It is then brought up by a writer 7 years later, who then draws herself to the mystery and tries to find out what actually happened to Zoe. I love a good mystery, so I'm very excited to read this. Got a lovely edition. I saw Meg from Meg with Books read this, and that's what's making me want to read it anyway. And finally, Do No Harm by Jack Jordan. There was a lot of hype around this book last year, and I never got to it, but it's basically about a surgeon who then gets forced to murder people. It says, my child has been taken, I've been given a choice. Kill a patient on the operating table or lose my son forever. Really excited to read this. I'm hoping I'll get to it soon. I did have an e-arc of like the first maybe chapter or two, and it was really good, so I'm very excited to get to this, hopefully before I turn 24. But yeah, that is all the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.